Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Let's go. Crypto Lifers Show, baby. Drop it like it's hot. Bam. Dang. Sorry about that. Oh, like, what a way to enter, man. Dear Lord, please help me recover from this one. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset for me, and that is your time. What a way to start the stream, man. I feel like such a complete, how does that happen, man? Feedback. Dang it. Can't have feedback. Can't have the speakers on with the mic. It runs this thing. Man, so sorry. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Hopefully you weren't listening or somehow you just jumped on in and didn't get that. Blessings to everybody here. 110,450. We had a trade last night. Took some gains. We had up to 112,000. Nice pump on CPI data. Gave you the ins and outs of the trade. I was a little smaller than I used to be this morning for a video I was making about the Minotaur trading bot. I was just showing you how amazing it is. And you can follow my Twitter at CryptoLifer33, and you can watch me. I post a lot of stuff out there, and check it out. Bitcoin coming back to 110,005. Am I still in the trade? I don't even want to look anymore. Did they take me out? Okay, so I got taken out. I was in profit, though. But, I put myself in very little profit just because it was looking a little bit shady. But the trade's still intact. Everything's looking good. And I actually may re-enter the trade as we speak right now. Let me just take a look. So I'm watching the 1 hour. I like that it's interacting with the 21-day moving average above the 200. It's a very bullish sign. And the closer I get to the 200, the better off I will be. So let's see here. And I'm pretty sure that trade. Yeah, see, I just don't want to lie to you. Look, I made 23 bucks. So I didn't lose, but I think I was up $400 or $500 a couple times on that, and even with CPI data, even more. But alas, I was dropping my kid off at school at the perfect time. You know what I mean? One of those days. So here we go. I'd like to be below the 200 moving average, but price action's just been a little shaky right now, and it could be shoulder, head, right. It could, I want to see it. Buying red right now is legendary. But it does so shoulder, head, right shoulder vibes, and it could bounce back to the 200. I'd like to do a top-down analysis before I get too crazy here, but I also don't want to lose this, so I'm going to keep this up on another screen. I got 6 monitors around me here, looking at everything all the time. All right? I got BOOKMAP up on my right screen for you. I've got the chat up all times. I've got it all, everybody. 6 monitors keeps you intact, keeps you going. I even then have my Discord ready to go here so I can fire off things to the Discord. And we're working here. We're working here. The problem why the price of Bitcoin don't move, it's because YouTubes are now preaching trading instead of investing. Interesting. I mean, I don't preach that. I got into Bitcoin a long, long time ago. I always tell everybody the majority of my money was made DCAing into Bitcoin. I could leverage trade my butt off for years. I don't know if I'll ever make the money that I made DCAing into Bitcoin. So you could just DCA into BTC, but if you love trading the way I do, like literally like a sport, like if you're into it as much as I'm into it, and you make good probability wins and it's fun, when you make money, it's fun. So the point is, I'm having a blast doing it. And I was a horrible day trader when I first started. I was a good swing trader, and I was a great investor. Somehow I could see where the future was going, and I was able to put my money where my mouth is many times, and I did very well. Very well. Even before Bitcoin, I was able to find some things. I'll tell you my story a little bit further on in the stream if you want to stick around. Let's do our top-down analysis. I'm getting off topic here. Let's do our top-down analysis for BTC. Let's see what's happening and break it down. So sorry about the first thing that happened. That's going to throw a lot of people off, man. But I pray to God that maybe I could bounce back in a strong fashion. So we will see. We will see. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Shout out to all my lifers. We're also going to take a look at the NASDAQ and see what's happening there. I'm going to break down everything I can for you, show you what's happening in the chart so we can make our best decision. Look, we didn't get wrecked this week like a lot of other people. We didn't go too short. We ended up calling longs, and we ended up getting paid, right? It doesn't mean it's the exact bottom. It doesn't mean everything is perfect, but it just, you know what I mean? It's getting set and scheduled. All right. Definitely trade as a sport or game. Real money is in my long-term holds. I like that. And you never know, though. Every once in a while, I do get into a crypto that absolutely booms to the upside. Grandmaster friend, I see you there. Are you Am I out of sync? Someone says I'm out of sync, but that could be his internet. Usually other people's internet, like my car, always out of sync in the internet in the Cadillac. It's just like, it's the way it sends the Bluetooth to the headphones, and especially if someone's using Bluetooth headphones, you know what I mean? But Bitcoin now testing 110,000. Only need one monitor to trade multiple. If you are streaming, you only really need one monitor. I think two. I really like to have two monitors. All right. I have 6 monitors, 3 phones, and a MacBook. I know, right? I have 6 monitors, a tablet, a phone. Yeah. In sync because of the blue. Yeah, exactly. God bless you. See, thank you. Master friend, I asked you a question. You didn't answer it on time. Pay attention, Master friend. You didn't pass the test. Other people answered it before you, Master friend. We need you here. We need you here. We need you here. He was that kid in class. Hey, pay attention. Over here. Over here, Joe. Over here, Bobby. Bobby, over here, Bobby. I love you, bro. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening today in Bitcoin land. First, we want to see is the daily looks like it's failing, right? Like it's now coming down with a massive wick. We've got to eat that back up. This has to be a game here. This has to turn into a nice, beautiful green candle. I will tell you, if they weren't ready to bust it all the way up, but they wanted to turn it green, they were going to have to bring it down today and then puddle around for the rest of the day. All I really want is to close above the POC, which was where we were, see? Which is this red line. What is a point of control? Well, look at this beautiful, if you look here, it's like a beautiful citadel. It's a head and shoulder pattern, right? Which is amazing. But it's a citadel. And it looks beautiful, right? It's pretty. This is the VRVP. You add this to your chart by going to VRVP. Other people call it the VPVR. I think it sounds better that way, I too, but like a Viper. But it's the VRVP for me, the visible range volume profile. You will click on it. It'll get added to your chart. It's newer. This is the new version of it. They changed the colors. So the colors don't matter. I'll delete my old one here for a second. And so you'll get, I'll delete theirs. Mine, yeah. So you'll get this. And what you do is you could go here to settings. And I believe if you want to, you could change it back to the way I have it, which is yellow and like that, right? And the same thing here. I don't know what blue I actually used. Now I'm not able to sync that. But choose the right blue if you can. There you go. Anyway, so, and then now you can go to settings and go to inputs. Oh, sorry, now we go to settings here on the VRVP and go to inputs, and we're just going to slap a 0 here. And there you go. You'll look just like me. Now, as you bring more information into the screen, let's talk about the VRVP for a split second. As you bring more information into the screen, as Bitcoin's about to lose 110,000, I'm out of all trades, just so you know. I've been stopped out, so I'm not really stressing a live trade at the moment. So we look at BTC, okay? And what we want to say is, okay, basically how much price action do you have on screen? And that's going to determine what this VRP is going to show us. So look, when I brought all this in, see how the VRP expanded and started giving me nodes? And what are nodes? A node is an area, right, of consolidation of price action. It's where there's a lot of buying, selling in here. It put in a high volume node. We know if we pump, a lot of people will look to take profits right here. Day traders, swing traders, people with big money. Remember, people put big money in the market. And so if they swing up here, they're going to want to sell a portion or so, even just maybe some of the trade at that area. That's going to be a good place to take some profit. It will probably bounce, retest, use it as support, and bounce away. It's just, and you can see it's a clear resistance. It'll become a resistance. VRVP levels coincide with support and resistance. Like, look here, you can see this is a key level. Resistance, chop, 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 bounce, possible, right? And there's your high volume node right here. Here again is a high volume node. Look, there's a lot of chop here. If we come down, we will bounce, likely. If you lose it and you come back, you'll get resistance. Once you get above a high volume node, the biggest one in the game, you're likely to pump to the value area highs. So look what happened here in the VRVP. We were here down. So first we were at the zone of the VRVP, and we were at what's called the point of control. This has a red line on it. It should. It's a white line right now, but this is the POC. I think they changed it white, which I don't know why. But so let me take away their VRVP and put in mine. Okay, so the point of control is right there because that's a little further out, but it's dang near it's like almost a twin point of control, but it's still, whenever the highest volume node is going to be a very, very structured area. So the point is, so you see all this area here. We came down to what's called the value area low, right? Or close. I mean, we fell through the gap. You see, we have a gap here. It tells you you're going to probably end somewhere here on this node. If you fall through, you're going to end up at this node. If there's a lot of bullishness and you get the divergence, you may not end there, right? Bullish, most assets would have fell here. But Bitcoin was extreme. People were front running prices in 75,000, 76. Think about it. It was a psychological area. So, boom, right? And again, there's that 200 moving average that I teach you. Look at that, was a great entry. And getting above the node. Once you got above that node, high likelihood you were going to now start to come up to this node. We did. Look, we had resistance there for a second. Once we broke through it, we came down. Look, we came back for support to the node. And there we were gone up to the... And again, what my mentor taught me is it's like a ball. The ball will fall down the hill. Like, it's that simple. Like, getting on the other side of the high volume node on the VRVP will send you down this pole to this area of liquidity. We call this the value area high, right? Look, you got rejected from that. And now, look, I mean, that's why price discovery is so unknown. Look, we have no VRVP. I got nothing to go on. I don't have gaps. I don't have all this beautiful information. Look, we kind of led this whole path. So I had something to go on, right? Even when we went down here, I now had two areas that I could play with. But that's why price discovery is key. And it's not easy because you're starting to lose information that you've had before. And that's why it's better to day trade long-term assets that have actual history, like that have made an all-time high, have dumped, and are coming back. Oh, there's so many areas that are key there, right? Funny, that's always on BNB memes, but I'm going to move it off because I'm not like I'm keen on them. I just kind of compiled that list one day. Look, we did lose 110 now. Bitcoin's struggling. And we lost the 5-minute 200 moving average. That's when I knew the longs were in trouble. It didn't look amazing. Anyway, so the weekly, the daily, tweezers are topping. You know, I wanted to see this W. It's very, it looked bullish yesterday. It was important we continue, and maybe we do. But right now, that could be rolling over for sure. And I still shoulder, head. This could be a complex head and shoulder that takes us to the downside. The shorts may still be in order here. Like 88,000 is still a possibility. I don't want everyone thinking that we're just out the water yet. We need to really cleanly stay above this 200 moving average and get above some resistance. But it's looking to me, we may have to make a lower high here, and that's not a good thing. But anyway, we'll plow through all the information and see what I'm looking for. I do discount prices are usually when you're near the 200 and the fear and greed index goes near a 20. We were at 23. That tells me that the fear was high and we were near the 200 moving average. I mean, that is a go-to area to take advantage of price action. For me in my lifetime, if I percentagely went at those areas, I would have done pretty dang good. Wow, Bitcoin free falling now though, seriously, losing 110. There was a short to be had here had we been on the short-term targets here. And so look, see the 3-minute, the 5-minute, it lost the 200 moving average. Once we went below, came up, once I saw this candle go here, I knew. I moved my stop loss into that, I just, once we wicked up for CPI too, that was the exit point for CPI. Like today was to get in, watch CPI spike, and then realize it was a Friday with low volume. And then things started, look, at head and shoulder for you. Take out that whatever it is, but you can see that's a head and shoulder. And you can almost, because of the spike, you can almost, I guess, algorithmically add that. And that's going to be your measured move with the wick, because that's how the bots, they find a wick, They find another wick, and then that's where they move price. It's just so crazy. Like this is all, think about it now. The markets, I'm going to take you through the manipulation of markets, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. So we have two things to talk about, right? I want to show you the results of the bot, which are going to fascinate you. I can't wait. That's just a special edition of the show today. The algorithmic bot, the systematic bot, I don't know, however you want to call it. The bot is amazing, man. And I like talking about it because it gets me excited, because I was you don't understand. I was the most skeptical person when it came to any type of automated trading. I felt like one day, just like in the middle of the night, like something, I don't know. And I heard a lot of stories. People were like, I had my bot and, it was doing well until it didn't, And I had heard some also good stories about it. That is starting to look some bear flaggish to me, because we're below. What we're going to have to do is shoulder, head, right shoulder. So that, again, the smart low-risk trader doesn't get into a long until you see this. Or until you get above the 200, make the flag with the 21 touching. That could be 4 or 5 hours from now, and that's why it takes patience to execute great entries. For the most part, I start thinking this has to be bearish. So now I'm bearish because, look, you lost this bounce. That should be in a double bottom. Nope, you rolled over. You turned it in. Look, it was a descending triangle, remember? I just want to teach for a second. I go hard. But that's a descending triangle right there. And you can take the base here and you swing that, and that's where you're going to go. And that's exactly what happened. The descender, all right? These descending triangles pay. They're just like an ascending triangle. Let me teach you something really quick. Who's tuned in right now and honed in right now on the channel? Who's honed in right now? 100% honed in. Who's used the model and made a gain using the model when you're above the 200 touching the 21? Anybody here? Anybody use the model above the 200 touching the 21 and made gains in the last week or two? Even in the last, Okay. Sammy is always teaching us something. All right. Yes, we hear. Okay, I just want to see who's really honed in here. I want to see who's locked in with me. I want to see, are you locked in? Are you locked in with the life? Are you locked in? Look at these eyes. Look at these eyes. Are you locked in? Okay, so here we go. Let's break it down. So remember, in the model, we take the flag, like we wait for price to get above the 200 moving average. We take the flag when we touch the 21, and we hit the measured move of the previous flag, right? Okay. So Alt-I, right? Boom. Here we take the flag. We got above the 200. We touched the 21. This is the exact same thing I teach you to go long. But you just take the short tool, okay? Go to short. You would be entering somewhere near the 21, right? With your target and your stop. If you could, it's nice to get it below the 200 moving average. It's a 2-to-1. That would be a little sketchy on a Friday. Technically should be at the low of the pattern, though, in my humble opinion. Right around here, if you can. If you can get below the 200 and the low, that's just a huge win. And again, it's a Friday. These are scalps. Like that would be, if I got 70% of the position and I'd be in there and out there. In at 110.550, out at 109.650, right? That's a beautiful short. And it's using my system. You're just flipping the system upside down. Okay? You got to be quick. You got to know exactly what you're going to do, and you got to execute it at speed. But the 5-minute is a lot slower than you think. And look at the descending triangle. Like, look at what I teach you. I wish I'd saw it, but, I can't do anything. I had to update. But the descending triangle also, like as we showed you before, did hit the exact target. And once you got below a 200 moving average, I teach you it's bearish on the 1 minute, right? I teach you to get in when you get above the 200 moving average, right? So you flip this up and you see my exact look. Once we cross the 200, we get into the long, massive long yesterday, right? It was amazing on the 1 minute. Right there, you cracked the 200. Look at that. And we boomed all the way up to that, So, and here we are. So, and what am I doing? I'm hitting Alt-I. I'm a king of flipping the charts upside down. I've been doing this for years. One day I'm sitting by myself. I didn't watch anybody do it. I don't know what. And I just flipped the chart upside down. I think I hit the button accidentally, to be dead honest. Like I went to hit J and I was like, what did I just do? And I was like, what is that? And I did it again and again. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I got pretty excited, and I said, that's wow. And I said, okay, huh. And it started becoming part of my teaching style. And now, like, I bring it up whenever I teach. And then what I did is I was able to find the top and the bottom of certain areas of price action based on, like, using the flip side of things. All right. Shout out to Andrew Yurkovic. Hard to respond when you're picking up dog poo. Yeah, I know how you feel, man. I had 2 dogs, yeah. Now when I see people picking up dog, I'm kind of like I'm going to have a dog with like a big wilderness in the back, let him do his thing. I can't have a dog until I own like 50 acres of land somewhere or more. You know what I mean? 110,100 Bitcoin attempting to dig back in. Anyway, let's do our top-down analysis. I'm stretching it out on Friday here. But the bot has made me so happy. God bless. I'm so excited. I mean, God bless the human race and the technology that we've made in the world. It's amazing. I'm so impressed by the human tech, man. The human mind is a beautiful thing. And the 1 hour is still above the 200 moving average. There's really no stress. Like the trade I've given to my trading group and that I've been talking, you could say it kind of maybe played with the trend line. I could readjust. It is a little bit of cheating there. To me, it did kind of fall out the trend line. But it could end up being a bigger pattern at play too. You don't know. But I do think that's cheating when you move it that far away. Like, there are some rules to transcending the pattern. So 118,000 would be the target. A lot of people say, oh no, we have ourselves a head and shoulders, Sam. We are going down, down, down. It's only a matter of time. And you better get ready for 100,000 BTC. Or at least the double bottom there at 104. And remember, hey, that's a possibility, but we would have to close a candle below the 1 hour 200 moving average. At that point, we'd be below the point of control and the 200. When I've seen that, I have seen dumps. Could be kind of considered an Adam and Eve. You see that? So, I'm ready for the bearishness. My mind has just opened up. I'm on the battlefield. I'm swinging my sword, right? Because I believe when you're trading, you're battling 100%. Someone's trying to liquidate you financially. They're taking your blood, right? Liquidation, blood is liquid. So financially, they're bleeding you out. They want to bleed, not the way they want, but the market just is going to take the weakest hand. It's going to. And so you're fighting with everything you have to make it in this market. And some people aren't going to make it. It's sad. That's just the facts of life. People are going to come into this market and they're going to lose. And some people are going to continue to go until they finally take a piece out, like I did. And some people are going to, I don't know. I'd love to see, how many people that never give up continue to, like, anything could happen. My whole point is, it is P versus P. It's player versus player out here. It's institution versus retail. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here in the trading game. So you're battling, right? And you need to see, how could I get sliced up? How could they get me from the back? How could things not go my way? So right now I'm looking for the most bearish scenario, because I dang well know. And look, this is a symmetrical triangle. Looks a little chubbier, right? And these are 50-50. And honestly, I have to say, when I started trading, these were 50-50, and I would see them break out either way, like for 10 years. The last 2 years, every time I've seen this pattern, I'd say 99%, it has dumped. Like, to me, it's become a bearish pattern. So my subconscious mind is just saying, hey, that looks like a head and shoulder. That looks like a head and shoulder. That's a symmetrical. You're rejected by a POC. Right? Did you lose the 15-minute 200 moving average? No, not yet. So there's some hope for the bulls that's a bounce. That could be the bearish, most bearish time is the most bullish entry. Isn't that crazy? Where it feels the worst is where it's the best. And that's the sad part of trading too. So what you have to do is train yourself to love risk. Train yourself to like red candles. Train yourself to like the opposite situation of what you thought you wanted, and learn to embrace that. Learn to embrace a red candle. Learn to embrace an opportunity. Live like a legend. right? Like if I buy right now on the 15-minute and we get a bounce, what a legendary move that would be, right? Bit of a double bottom here. Could this be something? So we got this like falling wedge. Like could, you know, that could be something there. I'll take a look at it. I don't know if I'm going to take it exactly yet. Hit the wick. And basically you're hoping that they won't break that 200 moving average. That somehow, some way, it'll do something like this. And, you know, you stay a little bit away in case they wick it. And watch your ears. I think this is... No, it's not bad. I like that. It's a typewriter. I like that. I like that. Know exactly what you typed. $270. That doesn't make sense. So you just got to click this, and then usually it'll reset. 156 for 426. That makes sense, right? On a Friday, very, very low risk, very high risk trade. The risk on this trade is extremely high. Bring, bring. That's KKX. Give you a little sound. Give you a little typewriter. Just want to give you the experience here. Pretty nice, right? The user, the UI is pretty smooth. 22,000. Wow. 579 at 39x. We'll see where this goes. Again, don't do any of this if you don't know what you're doing, please. One step at a time. I traded for 10 years. Even longer, I believe, before I even knew what, you know, how to trade like this at all. So, yeah, it could be a bounce off the trend. Could be a bounce. I like the 200 moving average. Usually we do get a bounce here. The bots love this area. High volume node. We could just swing right back up. This could turn into an inverted head and shoulder and absolutely wreck the shorts, right? And then we could be on out of here. So as long as the 15 minutes stays above the 200, there's a chance here. So you're telling me there's a chance? We're getting a little bit of a bounce. We'll see what happens. Don't call me a genius when I win or a loser when I lose. It's just one trade of my day to say on a Friday. I'm not going that hard. So yeah, what I identify now, I mean, before it looked more bullish because it was in a tighter channel. If we have to open it up like this, it was tight. It looked nice. You kind of shrink it and, you know, had symmetrical vibes, but it wasn't, you know, now if I open it up, it's a symmetrical triangle, right? So this is just what I'm seeing, and these are the facts here. So if it does break out, we get to 179. If it breaks down, we go back to 104. That's kind of where we stand right now, and that's a 50% pattern. The daily doesn't look amazing too. That daily candle is kind of weak on us. Again, as long as the daily stays above the 200 moving average, I'm okay. But so when I assess the market right now, I have to say it's a little more bearish than it was yesterday. Like things were looking up. We got our pumps yesterday. Things went our way. We took some nice gains. I woke up to gains this morning. One of my trades was up $1,000 when I woke up this morning. So my SMMA is Jack. What's the input again, if you don't mind? Your SMMA? Yeah, to add the SMMA, it's just simple. You just go here and type in SMMA and hit on it. And I don't do anything to it, but just change the length to 200. Maybe yours on 7. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've been doing it Cayenne, right? That's been my thing. Anyway, again, too, we're above the SMMA. As long as we stay above that, too, there's a good chance we could pump. If we lose both the SMMA and the 200, like there, we were mean against it. It's a very good reversion point, you know, a mean reversion point based on data. So we'll see. There's no telling what can happen. As you can see, I'm not risking tons of monkeys. So there we go. We are live trading BTC here, though, almost every single day. And let's take a look at BOOKMAP and see what's happening with the BOOKMAP segment. This is the BOOKMAP, all right? BOOKMAP basically shows you where all the market orders are, okay? Like if someone opened up a short and their liquidation was 117,900, you can see that there's a bunch of people short. And their stop losses / liquidations, their trades will end if we hit 117.5. This could be a bunch of buys, which could push us further up. And there's this big level here at 126.5 too. Someone's hiding up there. Okay, now there's people down here that longed, and they have stop losses at 104 and 102.5. What I've learned about BOOKMAP is it likes to go to the darkest red area, and right now that's at about a 117,500. And it doesn't mean it's going to do it for sure. And you have to remember, Bitcoin usually dips down a little bit before it pumps up hard, and it usually pumps up, or it will even wick down pretty fast before it pumps up hard, or it'll pump up pretty fast before it dumps hard. It likes to make a move to entice the opposite. So if Bitcoin starts to pump real quick and get your energy going, and you feel a green candle and you start running into a green candle, very likely within a minute or two, you will be in the red, and then you will panic sell as this starts to go down. That's why I teach you to watch price action, set alerts, and wait for the premier area near the 21-day moving average as the stochastics are curving from the downside. That means the momentum hasn't started yet, right? If they're going to do an emotional move, they haven't pulled that off yet. You don't want to chase the move they create. You want to be there before the move. So my students and me, we practice this. We get in, we watch, and then when they pump it on some irregular craziness on moves, CPI, whatever, or the date, and not even just the market moves. And we see all the newbies jump in, they get in and buy. That's why that candle's going up so fast. It's everybody getting in, buy. Emotionally buying, and we're selling into that green candle, right? How many times have you seen me sell on the green candle, right? Raise your hand if you see me sell on the green candle. Anybody? Put a hand there. Put a hand emoji and put a 333 if you see me sell on a green candle. And someone ask yourself, how many times on this live stream have you seen me sell on a green candle? I'm asking myself how many times I've seen it, recollecting hundreds, right? I don't even know. Does anybody even have a clue? How many times have I sold into a green candle on this channel? 333, baby. So, right? So now we're battling $111,000, which is, $110K. And that's okay. And we have red. We have red here down at 104.3 and 102.5. It actually is pretty red down there too. When you really look at it, there's a chance we come. So you can see whenever I see a symmetrical triangle, you know what happens to BOOKMAP? We have equal liquidity. So about 8,000 away is a low, and about 7,005 is the high too. We're equidistant in many ways. And to me, it's all about if this 15-minute can ward off the bears from the SMA, the smooth moving average, and the 200. Like it did right here. That was a battle, but we made it through somehow. Can we do it again? And someone asked about Clash, remember? And what we did is we drew a beautiful falling wedge, and we pulled it to the 786, and we said, hey, I don't know much about the coin, but look, it did make it back to its all-time high. And it's up 361% from the bounce on the 786. And we showed you guys this, we talked about it, and then we even made this flag. I said, I would flag it out. Flag obviously was way smaller if we zoom into this. But it flagged out nonetheless. Then it made another flag there. Now what I would do is I would begin to flag it out yet again, see? Like this. Doesn't mean every flag you put out is going to be perfect, but it's just the more you flag out a project, the better off you're going to get at getting it right. Like what if 5 out of 10 times it makes the flag exactly like you shed it and then you take the trade? Like, so, what's the worst thing that happened? What if 1 out of 10 times it makes the flag? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to fit, your style, what you're doing. And this trade's looking beat. I don't know, though. We'll see. We're below the 200 moving average. We have some buffer zone. We have some time to see what happens. The odds are good when you're above the 200. You will win the trade. As insane as this looks, the odds are good. This is going to pump so hard in our face and flatten the shorts right now because there's just no liquidity, and they got everyone to go short, right? Well, whatever move it was the move people are going to follow, right? So emotionally, most people went short. Emotionally, people are not going to go long here. Like, why would they go long here? I don't think going long here is an emotional decision. I do it because I like the 200 moving average, and I'm addicted to that. I'm addicted to this bot style of trading. I don't know what else to do. I've lost my ability to think for myself. I just do what the charts tell me to. You see? Yeah. Bitcoin better rip to 160, 180 by December. Oh, wow. What are you going to do? You're going to whip it? You're going to put it on your knee and spank it? What are you going to do to Bitcoin if it doesn't do it? Shout out to everybody here. If you'd like to trade on BTC, they're doing something awesome for just exclusively the crypto lifers. If you trade up to 50,000 at trading volume, 5 USD, 100,000, 10 USDT, 500,000, 50, a million, 100, and then all the way up to Apple Watches, all the way up to a Model 3 or a dang near a Cybertruck. And these aren't like we pick you if you get it, or it's like you're entered into a pool. No, if you hit that volume, you get the price. It's that simple. You know, you don't have to be, you're not entered in to win. You get it if you hit the volume. So if you're an amazing trader, you like to trade, you're nailing it, you're hitting it, you're in my group, this could be a way to get an amazing bonus on top of your trading profit. So just something to think about if you want to jump on in to BTCC, all right, and find out more. And you could start trading today, right? It's just an interesting little thing. They're just like, hey, if we're going to have extra stuff, we'd rather give it to your community. And again, some of these are hard to hit. It's not perfect, right? That's, you know, to hit 700, you'd have to be a pretty boss trader. Like I wouldn't, like, that's not easy, but it's there if you can hit it. So, and thank you so much. We appreciate that from BTCC. So it's all about 110,000. As you can see, it's all about this symmetrical triangle. This is where we stand. This is kind of where we are. Made that crazy high at 114 on that beautiful, that was amazing, right? Still can't believe I could have made 20 grand. I was close. So consult, like, right. So if you see Bitcoin, one or two, like, let's say one or two 50-minute candles below the 200 moving average, well outside this trend line, I mean, we're likely rolling over. I mean, they may be doing a bear hunt, and we'll see. But the odds are very likely we're rolling down to 104. So be careful. Today could be a treacherous day of bearishness, or it could be a beautiful day of bullishness. I can't tell you. We got to wait. I know nothing but the fact of mode ignorance. What I do know is how to watch price action so it tells me what to do with high probability. You know, I don't know what's happening, but the price action will definitely tell me what I need to be doing, or what I don't like, what I could or could not be doing, depending. And you'd think I would have been stopped out by now, right? You think, is it funny I'm still in the trade as if it's sweet Sally just sitting here? Just sitting here. We'll see as I get cocky. Blah, take me out. So that's our top-down analysis. And again, the time frames I would be watching closely are the 1 minute and the 15-minute, because if they lose these 200s quickly, we're going to be in more bearish clutches. Look, that could be a head and shoulder pattern as well to the downside. And you do have this gap in the VRVP. You went right here at resistance. You gap through. Look, you got through the gap. The price action moves well through the gap of the VRVP. Very important. That's why I'm using this tool. It's very awesome. It coincides with the liquidity given here on BOOKMAP, which coincides with my support and resistance, which coincides with my measured moves inside the pattern. Don't you see how this is a mental maze that just keeps overlapping over time? This will coincide with Fibonacci levels. Like if you look at this Fibonacci level, like you can almost tell that's a 618. Look, you pump from this wick to that wick. That's your Fibonacci range. That's the range the bots are going to take. And look, where did you go? To the 706, which is a secret fib. But basically, if you DCA'd into the golden pocket and then DCA'd out at the 0.5 there, at the 0.5 fib, which you hit exactly. Oh no, sorry, the point. What is that? Yeah, the 0.336, right? Yeah. What are we? Yeah, the 236. Sorry, the 236. I don't use the extensions as much as other people because it hits my measured move all the time. So I just figured, why did I have to do that? So I don't use fib extensions like a lot of other people because I don't need to. I hit measured moves all day long. I can see where price is going. We do it constantly. So, but I use fibs for fib retracements. You know, that's what I'm using. And you can see how that range brings you to the 6. I mean, it's at the 0.65. And again, your Fibonacci will not look correct. You're going to get a fib. And how do you add a fib to your chart? I hit Alt F. Go from the bottom left to the top right. All right. And this is why if you want to join the trading group on our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, I think you should get excited because we're going to be able to teach you so much in a year's time. It's going to blow your mind. Okay? It's going to blow your mind. Okay. Sell. Yeah, I feel like Binance is more accurate than BOOKMAP. It's going to dump on everybody. Absolutely not. Obvious dump always nails it as well. Stocks up, crypto down, same old same. If it smells like smoke, it's probably smoke. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. We got to lose the moving averages to dump. And it's, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do dump, we make a right shoulder here. They'll get everyone thinking we're long again, they'll snipe, and then we'll dump. So just, you know, let's hold our horses here on being smart. We don't have to be smart. We don't have to know. Isn't this it was so freeing. One day I was like, I have to be right. I have to be amazing. Every trade has to be, you know, and when I was wrong, I'm devastated. I'm emotional. I'm in and out because I think I had to be right all the time. Then one day I said, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I saw it when I was in a diner with my wife one day. And said Socrates, right? I thought it was Polonius for years, but I was corrected that it's Socrates, right? But I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, right? And I repeated probably every single day. And then my friend made an album, and he called it The Beginner's Mind. And I'm like, what is that? He's like, Beginner's Mind, man. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, if we always believe, he's like, I was taught to me by, you know, a Shaolin monk that taught me Kung Fu. No lie. And I was like, how? And he's like, well, the beginner's mind tells you that you're always a beginner. So if you're always a beginner, like right now, I'm a beginner trader, right? Compared to the 50, 70-year-old man that's been trading 30, 40 more years than me, I'm a beginner trader, right? I'm a beginner trader still. I still have so much to learn. We all have so much to learn together. Agreed? And may we get the likes up to the watchers here. I would greatly appreciate it. 1,700 people here on the live. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. One of the biggest streams in trading. One of the biggest streams in crypto. Shout out to everybody here and shout out to all my partners and people that show up. I appreciate that so much. So, and I lost track of thought too. Wow, Clash is added to MEXC. That's a big deal. That could give it some pump. Yeah. Oh yeah, so beginner's mind. And so what he said was like, well, if we always believe we have a beginner's mind, we never think we're masters and we never think we're just too much for something. And we'll always be open to learn. But if we tell ourselves we're a master of craft and we're the best, then like, won't we shut off and think, why would I have to learn anything else? I'm a master. So the universe is ever expanding, and to be able to handle that ever expansion, we must think we're the beginner at all times. And therefore we can actually ride the waves of excellence, follow the paths to success, and become people we never thought we could become, right? Look at this little pump back to the upside here with the stop below. I mean, this looks likely I might be able to turn this into a bit of a win here. Almost the king of 3%, right? I've never seen someone make 3% faster than me. But we'll take a look. We're not there just yet. But again, the epic bounce. I mean, the smooth moving average is strong. Being above it is usually a very strong catalyst for a move up. We went over this yesterday. I felt like it was very important. All right. So anyway, ye of little faith, you all got so bearish so fast. So many people here in the chat got bearish so fast. It was crazy. We got to maintain, and that's why I want to keep saying, like, we know nothing but the fact of our own ignorance. Let's just reset. All right. Staying humble is the key. Yes. And I didn't take my own 109 vibe trade. How about that? Hey, there you go. Love you, Sam. I wish you were still in Boston and you and I could have some good laughs and a lot of fun together. Very similar to Crazy Irish. That's stupid, just crazy. Hey, God bless you, man. I'm happy. Hold it down for me, man. Keep Boston real. It was a good town when I grew up there. I don't want it to lose its soul, but travel and trade, but a circuit breaker. What do you think of Neil Howes and Will Strauss's fourth turning prediction? And what about Peter Turchin's theories? I know nothing about them, and I don't care. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah. Because it just keeps burning everybody. We need to get you out to Thailand, Sam. Thank you, Milligans. I got to get out there and check out my buddy. And remember, today is one of the worst days to trade. It's usually sloppy and slippy on a Friday. It's low volume. We're going to have a Fed meeting this Wednesday. So that already, I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire market just gets speculative and tight. Just, you know, people are less speculative and tight. People just kind of get like, a little weak-eared out, but 96% chance they're going to cut the rates, which if they keep cutting these rates, and this is exactly what we talked about. 3 rate cuts were coming. We went over this. We predicted it all. This has never been wrong. Whenever it's given us over a 90 to 95% accuracy, it's been true. This says 96.7%. We get 96.7%. That's exactly what happens. The target rate probability for October 29th on the Fed meeting. And I'll be here, broadcasting live from the studio, the Crypto Lifer studio, like we do every single Fed meeting. And here's the trade banging to the upside. Can we get the money, though? And again, it's not a huge trade. It's a fifth of my usual size. I go for $100,000 trades now in open interest, okay? But 22,500. Been a great week all, yeah. When you think Palantir going to make a top? Let's take a look at that. I put out a chart for that recently when someone asked me. I can't wait to go back and see what happened to the chart. I love doing this. Look, that looks like a bounce there too. Let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, just wicking itself back inside the pattern. Keep wicking. If that would be great if it wicks right inside there and gets super tight. And whenever they get it tight now, they're going to search for liquidity. It's almost like a little beep, 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 like a honing device. It's going to beep, 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 beep. Yep. Well, as long as I'm above a 200 MA, I'm cool as a cucumber. Once we break that, I'm back to Bear City. That's just how I am. I've learned that. I can flip on a dime on the 200 moving average. Because I've learned that's how things begin to just absolutely fall apart. Let's take a look at Palantir for a split second, and thank you for bringing it up. And I saw someone just gave me that ticker, PLTR. Thank you. You're a gem of gems and a gentleman. So the last time I put out Palantir, I said it was likely going to consolidate in here. You can see it was like somewhere here, and I drew this and said look for it to get tight and likely continue up to 289. So I'm calling a pump for Palantir. And I believe there's an entry here with a stop. Let's see if you can do a deep one. Yeah, I mean, the stop can be pretty dang deep. For a 2.9 risk-reward ratio, I could get into Palantir 183, keep a stop below 147, and go to 288. All right, interesting. But that's my call for Palantir, and it looks likely to me. Consolidating absolutely beautifully on the 4 hour. The 21 is touching above the 200 moving average. No bearish divergence as price action slanted down with the RSI. All is well. That ends well. This looks good to me. I've got a call for Palantir to rip. Let's show you the areas again. And I'm not a financial advisor. This could dump in our face. I would always have a stop because we don't know. We're just trading probabilities here. There's no guarantees in anything, especially not in trading. Trading is part of life. If there's no guarantees in life, then there's no guarantees in trading. There are things that are, most likely accurate, but it's still not a guarantee, even when it's 99.99%, right? We know that. Just paid the trader. I love hearing that. That one guy, I love you, man. Keep doing that, and you will end up in the halls of greatness, brother. Don't stop, my friend. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And follow me on x.com. Like right now, I'm going to talk about I could make it there by February, right? And I like to just take pictures of stuff because never know if the link's going to look as clear. I don't know. Palantir, right? Palantir. No guarantee, but the work, the confluence to your favor. Exactly. I mean, it all looks good to me. It's following suit. It did exactly what I said it was going to do the last time I wrote this out. It's projecting right into the flag that I made. Unbelievable. Hey, sir, how about Soluna? It seems to be dipping. Yeah, Sam is the mentor you need, even if you don't realize it. He is the mindset king. Shout out to my man, Gibbles. God bless you, 321. Yeah. I normally won't buy Palantir. Hey, You could trade PLTR on BTCC. If you can do that, that's amazing. Let me take a look at that. Are you serious? Is that true? I was just projecting this today. I didn't really get it. I didn't put it out to anyone or trade it. Got on my little quiet zone. Let's take a look here. Wow, you could trade Palantir right here on BTCC. So go nowhere else. So let's take a look at this thing. This would be my first, like, you know. Maybe you could do it quicker than that. Could go to 250 by November. I can't seem to get... Oh, yeah, because I guess that had a bigger target, right? Well, if it breaks out, but I don't know. That would be a good place to get out. I don't know. The risk to reward is tighter now just because you have to ride that puppy to 288. It may not get there, right? Still a bit sketchy for me there. I'll take a shot. This would be a long-term hold for me, though. It's, you know. And maybe I'll readjust. It's got to be like, there you go, 1,000. Because if it goes, it's got to make some money, right? I mean, it's one of my bigger trades. You know, I don't know, 800 for 3,000, 800 for 2,900 there on Palantir. And there's the trade. You can see it's right there. They got the stop loss at 1,000. The take profit at 29. And I'm in. And I'm almost already up almost 3%. Unbelievable. We'll see what happens. That's just whatever's, right? But that's, you know, wow. So I didn't even know you could trade Palantir on BTCC. And thank you so much for showing me that. That's amazing. Bitcoin back above 110,000. Right? Everything kind of, so far, we got a green candle close. We're up 3% in the trade. I told you I'm the king of 3%. No one makes 3% more than the lifer. As funny as it is, it's true. Yeah, we have a referral for BTCC. It's right here in the pinned comment. Just click it right there, and you can jump on in. Not only do we have that awesome promotion, right, and sign up through the promotion too, just to make sure, but you know, you'll be included no matter what. And hit that link to BTCC in the pinned comment if you want to jump in. One of the oldest exchanges, been around since 2014. You can also trade the NASDAQ here, the Tech 100. All right. You could trade it all right here. Funny, it's coming up as AI Tech, but Tech 100. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I'm on KCAX typing in Tech 100. I'm so far. I'm shot. I'm cooked right now. The kid is cooked over here. Wow, look at that. Up 5%. Amazing, right? We'll see. I've never owned Palantir. I own a derivative or something, right? So we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. So we went over the bot. I love it. It's unbelievable. And, you know, I wanted to show you the bot too. If I go to my X account just for a split second. This is the win rate. 95%. 53 wins, 3 losses. The 3 losses are when I had to take the bot down to readjust. With a very small loss too. Like, it's been amazing. Look, $500 a trade. 123, 20, in, out, in, out, in, out. Bang, bang, bang. $1,500 in 3 trades. Like, from that move from 120 to 125, it just, you know, you gotta love that thing, man. Amazing, right? And I put a whole video about here where you can watch it and you can find out as much as you want about it. It'll blow your mind. That's on my Twitter account on X, and it shows you the entire account. I show you the ins and outs. I show you how I started, where I'm at. And I don't know, if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what does. That thing fascinates me beyond belief. So shout out to Minotaur for giving me a shot, working with me, and letting me use it. I'm still so grateful. And shout out to anyone that uses it. I hope it's to your benefit. May God, you know, may it be blessed. So shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. Can we commit, or is this going to just make a bear flag and dump on our face? Technically kind of outside. You could say, okay, let's look at the real bearishness. It could be making a bear flag here, right? It could touch the 21 and just be on its way below the 200 and First stop is going to be 108,800. And then that's back below that 108, back below the monthly support of resistance that I talk about every day. And then things start to look bare. You know, we're on the line of what could or could not be today. All right. And 110,000 is just like a battle zone right now, as you can see. And it's almost like, I can't look, you know. Hey, Sam, can you please look at SQQQ using your strategy for option calls? SQQQ short sale volume FINRA? No. Pro shares Ultra Pro, right? Okay, yeah. This thing's in the dumps, though, right? And you want to see when it will reverse or something. I don't know, right? I mean, it stays below the 200 moving averages. Like, it's in a downtrend, right? And if anything, I'd put it in this same kind of, like, this is a descending triangle. It looks like it could go lower. It is rounding, though. There is some divergence there. I have to give that to you. Possible bottom. But I don't know. To me, it looks like it just could go lower. Like, I need signs of reversal. Oh, yeah, and it already is. Look at that. So it just broke the neckline here. This looks like it wants to dump down more, man. Let's take a look at the NQ futures. The NASDAQ breaking out. Nice pump. And that's an all-time high, right? I believe for the NASI. Yeah, nasty NAS breaks out. And I told everybody not to stress at all. Remember that? I still see it coming back down. Something like this and consolidating. I don't think we're going to get out the water with just a gigantic pump. It looks like we'll get a nice consolidation. Actually, I know if you shrink this down, though, you could say, well, that was the flag already. That's interesting. And that thing could get busy right there. I mean, it's like, that's interesting. And we're going to reveal this. But remember, I don't know if you watched my macro technical analysis, but I told you we were going to bounce from here and not to stress not one bit. And then said people are going to say there's a right shoulder dump. I said, no way. I said, they're going to continue to print money. I said, quantitative easing is coming. And then, you know, with the CPI data today, let's talk about what the CPI data meant, because you can watch the CPI data, but what does it mean? So first, let's just show you the data that came in. And my whole students knew about it. My whole trading group knew. We are all aware. 8:30 Friday, I told them. So 0.32%, right? Core CPI month over month. And that's consumer price index, right? So they're you know, paying less. The consumer, you know, consumer price a little less there. And then year over year, a little smaller than before, which means whatever they're doing is working, so they can continue to do it. You get it? Wow, nice pump for Bitcoin. This trade is now really starting to show off. I may have made a legendary bottom call here. And then what the cool thing about this is it tells you that the bigger trade could still be taken. So if this consolidates and gets nicer, you know, we could trade that big boy trade too. And that's what the key is. The key is to look at, and remember that daily. It's all about watching the daily and that 200 moving average, in my humble opinion. The closer you can get to the 200 on a trade, the better off you're going to be, or the higher probability is that you can win. In my mind, I mean, that's what I found. You might have to backtest this for yourself, and because you may not believe a word I say. And I can't expect you to, right? You might have just met me online. I have no idea. I understand. And, you know, what I do, though, is I show you a lot of things that you could backtest yourself and see are real. Like, what I teach my students, like tomorrow I teach class. I highly advise you jump into class if you want to know more knowledge and skill from me. Hit the QR code to jump on in. But I'm teaching class tomorrow. On a Saturday, I could take the day off, but no. I'll be teaching class the second to last Saturday of the month, or the last Saturday of the month, yeah. I can't wait to see you in class. If you're thinking of jumping on in, we'll have a blast together. And it will be amazing. Look at this trade. Now almost up $100. This is how we do up 14%. Making $80 off $579. I mean, that's a lot of people can't do that. And using the 200 moving average, yet again, I use it every day, all the time. It's my go-to. It's my grace. It's my thing. Yeah. All right, so moving forward with this idea. Hold on one second. I'm thinking here that this could be an optimal place on the daily, right? If the daily can hold here. So let me just jump on out. So look, that trade is starting to play out pretty nicely so far. You know what I mean? And then we don't have to stress much right now that we're going to make a bear flag now. We can kind of keep that, you know. So if you watch me, I did make a long. So far, we'll see what happens. And the NQ looks beautiful. I'm going to do a macro technical analysis on it. A little bit of bearish divvy there, but I wouldn't stress it too much. I'd like it to come down, like back into this, and then it'll just make that's a parabola. Don't you see the parabola forming? Is it just me? I mean, that's beautiful. That's an eruption to 27.5 to a new all-time high. If they continue to print money, you have to understand there's no place for the money to go but into the stock market. And people say, what do you mean? Well, even if people didn't buy stocks in the price and they printed a lot of money, the value of the dollar would go down. A jar of peanut butter is worth more. So a peanut butter company stock is going to go up. Understand? Anything with a risk on assets are going to go up. Bitcoin is going to go up. People are going to get out of the dollar. The safe asset now is risky. Where you go now, you go into a riskier asset, or what people think. Bitcoin is the less risky asset. Bitcoin has proved itself to be better over time. Bitcoin has been a proper store of value for over 10 years. If you put your money into Bitcoin 10 years ago, you're great. 5 years ago, you're great. Heck, 3 years ago, you're great. Heck, 2.5 years ago, you're amazing. A year ago, you're still doing, you're beating up on inflation and you're doing really good for your overall net worth. Like, it's hyper speeding your net worth. Like, again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is what happened to me and anyone I've watched it. I've watched people get into Bitcoin. I've seen what happened. I've been watching Bitcoin since it was about $300. All right, I knew about it a little before that, but I didn't know what it was really. And then I learned about it at 350. I got an email. I started researching. I figured out the halving, the hash rate. And then once I saw the hash rate and the halving about 4 months from me knowing about it, I was all in. And I've been all in ever since. I mean, I've been in full-blown Bitcoin crypto guy. I teach crypto. I talk about crypto. And I teach trading because I love cryptocurrency. But a lot of people get into crypto and they lose all their money and they leave and they don't get the benefits of crypto because they didn't. So I teach this because I don't want people to come into crypto and leave, right? And some say you could do it for free. You could and have no, but you know, people don't listen. And when you make people pay $99 a month, they pay attention. When I paid for college, I showed up for school, you know, it's important. So you get people committed to, you know, because they're paying for something that they believe in. And whatever reason, money is a commitment, right? Once you've paid for something, you ever notice what a difference it makes? If you didn't pay for something, you probably never really think about it. But once you pay for something, man, you think about it. It changes your thought process, right? So through what I'm doing as a person, right, is showing up every single day to educate people properly on technical analysis. So hopefully they have a better experience when they enter cryptocurrency and they get the benefits that cryptocurrency actually is supposed to give you. Right? The freedom from banking and the ability to be your own bank and the ability to transact between whoever you want, whenever you want, across borders, right? That's the beauty. Seed phrases and the like. So the idea behind this is if more people know technical analysis, overbought, oversold, key areas, support or resistance, and their moving averages, we'll be better off as a whole, right? More people won't make horrible, and if more people have at least some type of know-how about what's extremely bearish, what's an extreme, I mean, you know, proper risk management. I mean, like what's extremely risky and what's not. Like risky is bearish to me, you know, but. So we're getting a little subdued now. Wasn't a perfect move. Could easily roll over on us. No guarantees here on the trade. Specifically on a Friday. Very sketchy day to trade. So the NASDAQ looking beautiful. All-time high. And we talked about a bounce coming on the NASDAQ. Ever since Friday, Black Friday, October 10th, the market has recovered absolutely beautifully. Like those, you just buy the dip and you'd be in the money. It was that simple. S&P exactly the same. I drew this triangle for you. I had this drawn. I even gave you the trade with an entry there at 672. You were in the money on the S&P. I truly believe, just like my last trade I gave you and the one before, and when I called the bottom for it twice now, since 2 or 3 Octobers ago, I've been nailing the S&P. Specifically in October, it makes a bottom. Every October, it makes a bottom. And then it seems to pump November and December. I've seen it happen time and time again. It's almost insane. It's like clockwork. And it's like they get people to forget. They get them distracted on other things, and they can't see the obvious patterns in the market. But if you don't get distracted like me and you do this every single day, all you'll see is the patterns in the market. You won't see anything else. So when everyone else is distracted, my brain extrapolates just the patterns and sees. And this will happen to your brain. It's called neuroplasticity. You'll begin to change your neurons. You change your neurological breakdown of how you think of things. Your vision will change. Your idea of the world will change. Your thought process with money, your relationship with money. You'll start thinking you deserve money. You deserve to be rich. You deserve to look over the water in a giant house. You deserve to have a staff, maybe a chef, and someone that you can support and treat wonderfully. You deserve to have a wonderful life for your children and your wife. You deserve to make everybody around you feel wonderful, in great space and great company. You deserve to be a good house guest. You deserve to take people to dinner whenever you want, all the time. You deserve to be amazing. You deserve it. So give yourself what you deserve, right? And work hard for it. Stay disciplined. And once you know you deserve it, you work hard for it because it's in you to have. It's yours. It's meant for you. It's not meant for anybody else. But your success is meant for you, right? And don't compare to anyone else. Just be on your journey somehow, some way. I don't know how, but we make it. My dad always said, just all you got to do is push the boat an inch at a time, Sam. Just a little bit. And kind of referring to how the old man would have to take his boat and bring it off from the shore, and it's heavy, but little by little, he gets it off away from the tide line. And so just a little bit each time. Look, this could be 3 white soldiers and change the game here. If you took the live trade with the lifer, congrats. So a little bit of green here showing signs of, and look how long we had to wait. That's 3 15-minute candles. That's 45 minutes some night. Thank gosh I can talk to each and every one of you. You guys help so much. I get into trades a lot, and we have to watch the trade, and it could be a little boring to watch a trade alone, but now I'm with you. I'm talking, I'm learning. There's so much stuff I can teach, and we're interacting, having fun. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that gives me this opportunity every day to use this channel as an outlet to teach and I'm blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So again, I'm bullish on the S&P. I'm bullish on the NASDAQ, and I've already been. I'm not jumping on a bandwagon. I've been saying this. If you go to my macro technical analysis video last week, I told you that I saw no bearishness. Life is good. Look, this thing looks like it could start to really moon to the upside. So we'll see. Everything kind of looking bullish for next week. Don't you agree? Looks like next week may be a party, right? Last week of October, headed into Pumpvember, Movember. Right? So far so good. How about the little account? Remember, we're going $90 to see if we could turn it into $1,000. Seeing what it's like to have a small amount of money. Oh, this account went into a small drawdown, but it's still there. We're at break even now. The account's at 130. We're okay. We only used what, $20 of margin there. You see how we're chipping away here. Today we want to make $10. You can do that 4 times in next week, 4 times. Now you're back. That's how you do this. $10 each. If you can make $10 a day, 5 days out of the week without any losses and above fees, then we could make $50 each week and turn this into like $250. Now we can get that to 5. Then we can get that to a G a lot quicker, right? But if we accelerate too fast at a smaller level, we will not make it. So we have to do is and this is the same thing as a regular trader. So you want to turn $5,000 into 100. If you go all the way at the beginning, you're likely to just keep blowing through 5. But if you say, let me make $100 a day, right? For the next 5 days off the $5,000. Next thing you know, after fees and everything, you're up 55. You do that again another week, $66,000. Maybe a month you do that. Now you're at, right now you're at 7,000. You should be at 7,000, right? 4 weeks of doing that. And boom. Now you can risk a little more against the bottom line, right? 7 is a lot bigger than 5. And then again, continue, And then if you did it slowly, fine. It would take about 2.5 months at $100 a day. Isn't that crazy if you think about it now? $3,000 a month. You do that 2 months, you make the $6,000, and you turn $5,000 into 11,000. Now there's another guy who's like always trying to double the 10,000. He's always up and down, heavy leverage, up all night. Craziness, right? The other guy makes his $100, closes his laptop, and checks it off. If in 2 months from there you've turned $5,000 into 11,000, you're doing better than 99% of traders. Remember that. All these big shots you see might take a big shot one day and lose it all. Whether James Wynn's lying or not recently, it doesn't matter because it's an attest to what actually could be true. Right? And the idea that people there, and you know what? There's probably someone who secretly did get liquidated for that much that you never hear about. It's kind of good that he talks about it because whether he's a troll or not, what he does is he juxtaposes the idea that people are getting wrecked out there. And so remind yourself, every time you think you didn't win enough, every time you beat yourself up because you made 100 and could have made 500, remember, there's someone out there, there's thousands that got wrecked the same day you made $100. Thousands that got wrecked the same day you made $100. And never be shy about trading small one day or not trading at all. It's okay. You don't have to force trades. There's nobody on your back that tells you you have to be doing something. Stop feeling like you have to trade against everybody else. It's just you. Just be a little bit better than you were yesterday. Learn a little bit more. Make your losses and your wins the same. Learn from them both. All right. So CPI came in. Data was interesting, and it was a more bullish data, right? It kind of led into the fact that Jerome Powell could continue to do its thing and that the Fed's on the right track to 2%, right? So it plays with the narrative. That double bottom could do damage. And so I'm still liking this coming back. Again, we got to get through the psychological resistance at 110.5. There's always going to be people there. Look, a solo Bitcoin miner gets lucky and bags a 307 rare Bitcoin block win. A lucky individual Bitcoin beat monumental odds to successfully solve a block worth $340,000 on the world's most competitive crypto network. The miner proceeded block 200,000 through the public pool Bitcoin mining and earning a total rewards of 3.14 Bitcoin. At today's prices of one, isn't that amazing? I mean, that never happens. It's so rare. That person is one of the luckiest people in the world. Like, it's funny. Yeah, softer inflation gives Bitcoin room to run, but downside risk lurk. Oh, come on. There's always that fun way to write an article. So Big Red tells us 117.5 is the most likely area we're going to. If we play that and do it most of the time we'll be right. So it's that simple. There's really not much else to think about. I felt like I've boiled this down to simplicity, but hey, nothing is easy. My dad said, if someone tells you it's easy, get away from them. Nothing is easy in this world. So we talked about the smooth moving average this week. I hope you got kind of, and again, why I have it added and why we had that extra bounce. Smooth had a lot to do with it, in my humble opinion, based off the algorithmic moves. We talked about the S&P and the NASDAQ, how it was extremely bullish when the whole world was bearish. I told you not to worry. They were print money, and it would have to go into the stock market. And they also had the rate cuts, and that has to go into the stock market. And lo and behold, the stock market is pumping. Exactly as we went over. And I make a macro analysis video every single Friday. I'm going to do it not too long from now, and it'll be out for you this afternoon. So get ready for that as well. That's added content for your viewing pleasure and for your mental health, because it's a zoom out of what's happening so we don't get caught up in the smaller time frames. Let's take a look at what's happening in the altcoins today, and we're going to jump into your super chats and chats and see what's happening in the chat. So in the last hour, we got Jupiter bouncing with some rewards programs and something going on there with Jupiter. Pepe, a little bit of movement. And in the last week, we did get some gains. Virtual bouncing back to 91. I like Virtual. I think eventually when the market comes back, Virtual will be hot. Zcash hitting at 255, definitely worth looking at. Hyperliquid, Floki, MyX, Aave, Aerodrone, 80 cents, man, dang. But is it up 9%? Chainlink back to 17, and almost all the altcoins up between 5 and 8%. And Solana holding 190 to me is a strong signal of good alts. So alts are here to stay for now. And breaking 110.5 is key. That's 3 white soldiers for the pump for Bitcoin. And we should be up the highest the trade has been now, no? Yeah, $95, 16% on K6. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Oh, yeah, let me just duplicate this here. Make another chat. BTC USD. And just hit the Bybit spot. So this weekly looks like a double bottom, right? And It would be beautiful if it closes to your top and continues to the upside. It would be just so magnificent. Unbelievably great. So we'll see, right? That gives you like 140, 142K. That's no joke right there for Bitcoin. That could do some serious damage to the upside. No guarantees, but it looks pretty sweet to me. Sad thing is, if we lose the 1 hour, I'll be on it. Like, I don't know where we're going, right? I'm speculating, but look, so the bot seems to know where we're going. Everything seems to flow well with the bot. So if you're just jumping on, we made a live trade using the 15-minute 200 moving average, speculating we would bounce here. And we got in when this candle was wicking, and we made a legendary call. It so far has been bouncing, but it's been slow as the volume is tight on a Friday and very hard to trade. It's never been perfect. Yeah. Another thing about the trading group, we'll teach you when and where to trade and why, like the timings. There's times when there's more liquidity in the market and times when there's not. And you're going to learn that with us. You're going to learn so much about, once you understand technical analysis and trading, then we're going to teach you how to like daily figure out what, like there's a way to trade markets. Like there's a way to do it. Like there's a way to garden every morning and set yourself up right. Like there's a way to set yourself up for a higher probability win rate, or at least to give yourself a clear option, right? Because other people just do whatever, but if you every single morning you do your same routine, you get it going, it works out pretty well. So altcoins, I really, unless I was DCing into something that I really felt was going to blow and I didn't have enough of it, I'm good. I mean, I got in way lower than the prices we're at still, and everything's just kind of, waiting to speculate. And some things like even Caspa, like, come on, 5 cents, dang. I'll take a look at Zcash. That's worth taking a look at. And I'm always looking for a swing. That giggle swing never played out. Like it didn't do what I was looking for it to do. So if you can see Zcash, what you do is you flag things out. And if you look at this flag, so far it did exactly what we wanted it to do. High risk, high reward is a buy right now with a stop below there, but that's interesting. I'm looking for that to consolidate, and lower risk is to wait for a little more consolidation and to get in somewhere there. Again, the prices will be higher. This looks bullish to me, especially as the daily catches up to the 21 without a dump. It's a very bullish sign that this is going to continue. I believe there's nothing wrong with opening a trade here on the daily time frame. This thing has been so strong. Yeah, I like this trade here, and it's been, and if Bitcoin gets it's almost telling you Bitcoin will get the bounce in a way. It's like foreshadowing a Bitcoin bounce. That's happened to me sometimes. I see a strong alt, and I'm like, the strong alt could never bounce if Bitcoin wasn't going to bounce. You know what I'm saying? And then it does, and it's just very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, but Zcash is like the strongest coin. It's a fork of Bitcoin. It's a privacy fork of Bitcoin. All right, if anyone doesn't understand, and that's what puts it apart. Like, it's only got 21 million coins. So when you own one Zcash, I mean, you're part of a very selective group. 21 million. Circulating supply is 16 million Zcash. It's a fork of Bitcoin. Oh, I don't think everybody knows that. Back in the day, everybody knew that. And I'm sure you OGs in the chat, I just want to see in the chat, who knew Zcash was a fork of Bitcoin? Who had no idea? Put a 333 if you knew. Put a 4 if you had no clue. I want to see how many 4s. Put a 444. Triple 4s if you had no idea Zcash was a fork of Bitcoin. It's okay to admit it. I don't expect everyone to know that. Back in the day, like everyone we all had this general knowledge of crypto. Since memes came out and all this other stuff, like people, you don't even have to research crypto anymore. Nobody cares. But look at this. Look at all these young people out here. Look at all these young people out. Look at all these beautiful people in crypto. Did not know Zcash was a fork of Bitcoin. Yeah, it's a privacy fork of Bitcoin. All right. I wonder if they say that right here in its right. Is a decentralized crypto focused on privacy and anonymity. Using ZK Snark zero knowledge proof technology that allows nodes on the network to verify transactions without revealing any sensitive information. Right? Cypherpunk, computer security expert and entrepreneur Zuku Wilcox O'Hearn. Irish, baby, Irish. The Celtic blood reigns true and the knowledge of the honor. right? Zcash token is similar to that of Bitcoin. It's a scarce mineable token. They're created in a form of blockable size whenever a block is mined, right? It doesn't say that it is a fork, but it is. And let's see, you know, you can ask Grok too, is it a fork of Bitcoin? But that, I mean, maybe I don't want to be facetious, but that's what I was told back in the day. And when I did my research, a spork, yeah, it's a spork, yeah. You follow the life, or you pretty much are plugged into everything. Stay here to learn more. Shout out to Crypto Billy. We love you. We appreciate you, man. Wilcox O'Hearn spent more than 25 years in the industry of cryptography and information security, and has contributed to a number of projects. Like, so where would you want to put your money? So you can see a lot of people piled in the Zcash, and it's been holding its value pretty nice compared to the world. Proof of work SHA-256 has function, which belongs to the SHA-2 set of algorithms, same as Bitcoin. You see that? It's a fork, man. Anyway, beautiful, interesting concept. It's Bitcoin for less with privacy. That's what Zcash is. Okay, it's amazing. I remember. I don't know if you remember, but your man Snowden was all over it. Right? He liked it too as well. How we doing on our Palantir trade? Wow, it's actually up 10%. Wish I put 100 racks in there. Funny, but seriously, no. We're just starting out there trading, but that's on BTCC. So today was amazing. BTC hooking us up, right? If the more you trade, the more you get, which is awesome. Check this out. Hit the link. Find out more. We have a pinned comment if you want to make that happen. And then also opened up my first, like, real, I trade the NASDAQs, but I feel like that's kind of like trading Bitcoin. But this is like, I'm actually, I'm swing trading a stock. It's interesting. I'm blown away. But it doesn't move value today. Pirate Chain is cheaper. I remember Pirate Chain R, but yeah, but it's far more speculative. Let's take a look at the super chats people are sending in. Thank you so much for the super chat. And look at the balls about to hit the jar. Oh, that was an explosive move. Wow, some fell on the ground. I'll have to pick them up later. Can you look at open? Let's take a look at open and see what's happening to open. And we're going to go down here and hit fan funding and see what we got here. Not true. Check DM. I'm VIP. Oh, yeah. He goes, I get it. Yeah. No, you're perfect. You're funny, man. He's like, I love you. Remember I said you didn't answer me? He's like, not true. I'm VIP. I love you, man. Hard to respond when you're picking up. Hey. If you don't know about class, get your learn on. There you go. We know all about it. We've talked about it. It's hit MEXC today, too, as well. Get Solana for holding class. Do your own research. It's amazing. Can we check stock GWH? Let's take a look at GWH. Bitcoin struggling, a red candle there. Fridays are tough to trade, I'll tell you that. Very tough. If you're having a tough time trading today, it's a Friday. A great day to take the day off if you had a good week. No reason to go at it over and over again for no, Yeah, this thing boomed. I mean, for whatever. It's almost like Beyond. I don't know if it was something to do with Beyond, but it looks like it moved with Beyond. Went up to 13 and just crashed. I mean, whenever you get away from a 21-day moving average in a fast manner, you're going to come back to it. And just pull your Fibonacci. Yeah, you're in the 786, and then you start looking for the flag, right? The fallen wedge. And eventually it could break out of it as long as it stays usually above the 21 and the 200 moving average. And maybe it could go up. I don't know. I wouldn't put any faith. I have no idea what this is, and it looks like it just got pumped and dumped on the stock market. Yep. Looks just like Beyond. I mean, look at Beyond. Like, it looks just like it. Seems like they moved in tandem for whatever reason. Sam, how did 333 originate? I just started studying, like, Masonic stuff, and I kept seeing the number all the time. Then I got deep into sacred geometry and the numbers, and I got into Nikola Tesla 369, and I just went into the theory of numbers. And honestly, the numbers started coming at me everywhere I went all the time. Like, no matter what I did, like, I'd pay for something, it'd be $33. Like, I met this girl one time, and she said her first check was $333 after meeting her for a week. So these are all true stories. And she looked, and she's like, you follow the 3332? And she looked at me like, oh my God. And we were like, what the? Like, it just, all this crazy stuff happened to me involving the 333. I started a business. I was driving down the street. I saw 1333 Broadway. I was driving my motorcycle kind of one afternoon, kind of soul searching, looking for something to change my life and inspire me. I was like, maybe something will get, I want to find an adventure. And I just started going down random streets in Brooklyn. I saw 1333. I walked in. It was a little toy store. I started flying these toy drones. I turned it into my first business, my drone business. So like, I got my drone pilot license. I had like a $10,000 drone collection or more at one point. I was selling them. I had a website. It was amazing. Sam, can we look at ASTER? Nice again. Thanks for showing up every day and spending your most valuable asset with us. Thank you for spending your most asset with us. Gratitude to you, Sam, and all the lifers uplifting, man. God bless you, bro. Yeah, so that's how the 333 originated. It just seemed to, whenever I did business, it seemed to surround my business. It seemed to come around when I made money. It seemed to flow. And then I never saw 77, but right before my dad died, 2 months before my dad died, 77 started showing up all the time. I'd make a trade, I'd be up 7.77%, or I'd sell at 77, or I'd open here, or I'd see it, or we'd be on the live and 777 would just show up, right? Then my dad passed, and after he passed, I started seeing 77 all the time. 33, but 77 kind of took over, and now I see them both. Like, and people say you probably look for them, your mind creates this, and I wouldn't put it past it. But why is my mind even creating it? There's even deeper questions to that, and it can go as far as you want to take it. But yeah, and I just believe that I use numbers of the frequency. I follow the 333, man. It's weird. There's something to numbers. There's something about them. They have a frequency to them. I can't put my whole thought process on it just yet. But there's something to numbers. Thank you for asking that deep question. I didn't realize it was going to go so far in my brain, but yes. Can we look at ASTER? Somebody says, let's take a look at ASTER. And I'm not playing with ASTER yet. I want to see it find some strength here. But it seems it's been at 106 on and off for a while now. So it boomed up. I would always draw Fibonacci from entry. And it's coming back down to that 786, that 886 retracement. And falling wedges tend to break up over time, and it could even make a rounded bottom, though. Right, and kind of slowly grind its way on out of here. It could be a perfect buy right now. A beautiful DEX, right? If the market starts to rip again, it's going to take profit margin. It's got utility. CZ hasn't lost a battle. The guy's amazing. He just got pardoned, which I believe is, what we got a nice pump yesterday on ASTER. That pardon gave it a little, nice. I mean, it went from 93. I gave it 14 cents on 94. So a little under 20% gain there. If I did get into ASTER again, I'd be DCAing. If I wanted 5 racks, I'd be putting one in one at a time, or 500 here and there. Bitcoin struggling 110, 150. Trade not, starting to, we need that to flip back again. Look like it could be rolling over here. I don't have a lot of faith on a Friday, I'll tell you that. And as I showed you, the bigger pattern could definitely dump on us. That's why my trade isn't that big. Sorry to not be so exciting today. Shout out to Vincent Master, proposed buyback, Jaded. God bless you guys. Let's get back into ASTER. So yeah, so ASTER, either it's the perfect time to buy and you're nailing it, or it bottoms out slowly, drips down a little bit more before it finds its bottom. Hard to tell. It's pretty new. And if we get a slump for Bitcoin back to 102, I don't see how this makes a huge move. At the same, fear is your friend in a lot of situations. I'd have to really like it right now. I guess, if ASTER would break back above 135 and retest, could be a more safer entry. There's too much risk right now for altcoins. Even if they were to break out, you have to do a buy or die. You have to buy or die right now. And I'm not into that anymore. I'll do that if I have to, if it's my last and I'm trying to get out of, you know what I mean? And it's like back in the day, but I'm not desperate anymore. I'm not, and again, and I never was truly desperate, but I was doing anything I could to get out of the rat race. So I was pretty desperate. I was watching any video, trying to learn, just like everybody that might be here. Some people I don't want to call us desperate, but we really, somebody said I desperately wanted to get out of my 9-to-5. Funny, people won't say they're desperate, but they were desperately trying to do something. That's funny, right? But I know, fine. We were never desperate. We were God's children. We were always on a journey. Things were beautiful. We just, we knew there was more out there and we would like to achieve more. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to achieve more with your life. The more you want to achieve, all you do when you want to do something great with your life or pronounce that you want to be great, there's going to be people that call you an egomaniac. There's going to be people tell you that all you care about is yourself. But in the long run, like for instance, if you build a business and you create opportunity for others and they have jobs that they love and they come to work with you and they grow the company with you and things, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. You're a contributor to society. And so when you free yourself from the shackles of a simple life and you make yourself more complex to help others, you start a business, a company, right? You know, when you're single, when you're just by yourself, you go to work, you get your paycheck, that's it. When you run a company, you got to start worrying about all sorts of other stuff, and there's other people, and there's personalities involved, and thoughts and ideas, and you got to take shots on individuals, and you know, you got to take trust. You have to trust people more than just yourself. It grows, right? It's way more responsibility. A lot of people don't want that responsibility. They just don't. They're not into that. To them, the monetary reward isn't worth the fear and the doubt and the. But to me, it's either stay in the same place or grow. Like there's two choices in life. You are a plant. Plants are either really nourishing or they're starting to go backwards, right? It's like if they're sideways, they're not nourishing, right? So like even not moving is stagnant to me. Like not move. Everyone says it's you're either moving or you're not. But if you're not moving, you're in the middle. You can be a bit in the middle. To me, is not moving. You see what I'm saying? And basically on your way back to being stagnant. So that idea is the same as I progress in life. And we got to believe that every day something new and amazing is going to happen to us. I always sat there and said, something big is coming my way. Something big is going to happen to me in the next few months. A breakthrough for the channel. I'm going to get an interview on some huge podcast where people are going to really get to know me on a mass scale. Like something big is going to happen if I keep pushing. If I keep pushing this channel, if I keep going. One day I'm going to get that plug. I'm going to get that open door. You know, someone's going to offer me that olive branch, you know, and if not, fine. I'm going to grind my way to the top anyway. I don't need it. But if it happens, so be it. It'll be great, right? See me on Joe Rogan one day. You never know. I believe it's all possible. I project these things into my mind all the time. I believe that anything is possible that I put my mind to. All right. I'm not dunking over Shaquille O'Neal. Like some things are just, you know what I mean? But maybe at a thing where they give me a trampoline and it's a joke and it's done, and you never know, right? So you never know. Like, it could happen at a charity event, or you never know. I like AERO here. It's pretty oversold. It's pretty beat up. Again, though, Bitcoin kind of playing games. Look, it's back to 1099 now. So trade is now in the dark, right? And that's kind of sloppy. Let's take a look at BTC again here on an open scale. And I'm about to do a top-down analysis for it anyway. And wow, I've worked a lot, man. Yesterday we did a weekly screen share. Last night from like 8:30 to 9:45. Then earlier that day, I did a leverage boot camp type of video where we really went over leverage trading and the ins and outs of liquidations and basically what it means to trade with higher leverage and lower leverage and where the risk puts you and where the risk doesn't. All the ins and outs of that, right? And then also and then we did the morning update, and then I also did the live stream. So live stream to my community for about 4 hours yesterday in total, maybe even more. Had an absolute blast. But yeah, we've been putting in that work. And then we get the class tomorrow. Like, it doesn't stop. Somehow I snaggle in the live stream tomorrow morning before the class. I don't know how I do it. Then I still do this. So tomorrow I'm going to do the live stream, bang out the class, and still live stream tomorrow night. Tomorrow I get a busy day. And I got to father, be a dude, hang out, make sure I hit the Bitcoin trades and nail it. I wouldn't ask for it any other way. I really wouldn't. You know, everything's still, like, the daily candle just looks like trash now. Like, I don't want it to close like that. So at the end of the day, I'd just be watching my daily candle today. Closes green, great, but it's up for grabs, man, as I showed you. And then, you can zoom in to what I just had going on, right? On Binance. On the 1 hour. Let me just clear it up, though. Because I got stuff everywhere over here. Again, it's all about this trend line, and it's all about the 15-minute 200. We lose that 15-minute 200. We don't. We could, somehow we consolidate all day long. I wouldn't be surprised if because it's Friday and CPI that we just go sideways. They're also going to replace the chair, right? Jerome Powell is getting replaced. It's going to be a big deal, man. And the guy's going to be far more dovish and Trump, easy with Trump. It's just going to be and we're looking at quantitative easing coming back out again too. So, and maybe flooded more than ever. So we'll see. There's a lot of catalyst here that could change the way the market has been moving towards cryptocurrency. And announcements to, they keep saying maybe no tax on U.S. cryptos, but they won't let it out just yet, right? Like it's got to be perfect at that. They can't say that until the right time. They'll pump too many coins, right? Shout out Jay Soul. Can you bring out crypto on the go? It's so funny you said that, man. I looked at crypto on the go yesterday and I said, damn, how come I haven't done crypto on the go anymore? It's so weird you said that. I looked at my channel. I was like, oh yeah, crypto on the go used to be awesome. God, thank you for saying that. I will do crypto on the go. I mean, I kind of do crypto on the go now on Twitter. If you follow on X, if you follow me on X, like I'm always like there's a lot of crypto on the go. Like this was me crypto on the go right here just the other day at the pool, I'm talking about the water fast. It's got 5,000 views. These, It's nice to be searchable again. God bless you. Thank you, X.com, for always helping me and holding us down. Anyone that supports the entire product gets supported, man. They're pretty awesome. Look, there's always something going on Twitter. Look, it's always popping. Shout out to Crypto Bitlord. Look at Bitlord follow me, man. So cool, man. Biggest people in the game, man. Follow the lifer, bro. You got Tristan Tate. You got Bitlord. Win. More and more people, man. Following the lifer, bro. I'm telling you, we're blowing up. We're blowing up. People don't even believe me, man. And again, who cares, right? I'm my own man. I love my kids. But look at that. Follows you, man. He only follows, like, compared to his followers, right? So he likes the feed. Follows cryptocurrency. Likes what we're putting out. Understands that we're always plugged into the markets. People say, hey, why not? Right? Honestly, man, there's still a good chance I win this. Look at that wick. Inverted head and shoulder, baby. It's all about the 200 moving average, everybody. If we stay above it, we're going to be good. All right? Shout out to Jay Soul. God bless you, brother. I love you saying that. AERO thoughts and update. Yeah, I like it. I looked at the cup and handle. I looked at TAO. It looks great. We put out the TAO chart. Shout out to everybody that hooked it up today with a super chat. Master Friend, Andrew Yurkovic, CSR, Arthur Mikalski, CSR, Graynor, Victor Navarro, Norman, Dat the Blues Guy, Jay Burks, A Supersonic, and Southern New York Yankee, and Southern Yankee, Vetty Goat, Gibbles 321, Matt Did, and A Supersonic. God bless you. He says, TA on PAXG and thoughts on CPI plus bad jobs. Honestly, the jobs is just due to the government shutdown, in my humble opinion. So it has a catalyst there that is affecting it at the present moment in time. And I don't think gives us a true picture of what's happening. And I also believe that once they release the hounds and more money comes into the market, there will be more borrowing, which we should create more jobs. Interesting, though, you should see a higher job market. But yeah, no, it usually is, it comes recessed. Like, it comes after the fact, too. So thank you for asking such a poignant question. I hope I answered it somewhat properly for you there. So PAXG on the daily, I mean, again, right, same idea that we had. That would have been stopped out. And, it still would have won that trade anyway. But yeah, this is gold, right? So, I mean, what I would do is I would go to the 3-day on a big asset just because that's going to show us more. Now, if they continue to print money, there's nothing you can do. They're going to create substantial pedestals for price action. So to me, like, gold isn't done. A lot of people that just sold gold there at 47, I mean, yeah, that was a high. Maybe look at the weekly too, though. Weekly, yes, yeah, the 21's creeping. I just see gold making another one of these. It's funny. Bitcoin's in this exact. Let me just show you something. I see a fractal. I just saw a fractal. Let me see here. If I look at it on the 5-day. Yeah, watch this. This is going to blow your mind. Just saw a fractal for Bitcoin. And I used to do fractals all the time in this channel, remember? See that? I'm going to copy paste that. I remember it was on the 1 hour. See that? Like, see how that looks like? It's like a head and shoulder, see? I know it's not perfect, but I'm taking it from like the weekly, the 5-day, but it's that like 1, 2, and it looks like it's going to dump, but they rip that thing. Interesting. It almost says like, are we going to rip, right? Because, you know, again, but little subtle clues sometimes through the algo can sniff its way through. It's hard for them to block everything they're doing all the time. Shout out to BTCC. Shout out to anyone that signed up with any of the links. We greatly appreciate that. If you went to CryptoLifer.com to become part of the CryptoLifer crew, go to CryptoLifer.com today. Hit the subscribe button. You can do a monthly, a quarterly, or a yearly subscription and jump on in today to change your life. I'm here every single day. Let's just flip a few of the testimonials at you that people said about me in the last couple days. There have been actually some really strong ones that have dang well brought tears to my eyes. I've been watching The Lifer Daily for a few months, got burnt in a couple times, and decided to join the 99. I've never seen a man so dedicated to his community. In the week and a half I've been here, his wife surprised him with golf lessons today, and he skipped it to teach an impromptu risk first reward power hour for his 99 that he believed needed it. Instantly dropped everything. Very proud to be a 99er and strive to be like The Lifer. Motivational, inside and out, the charts. P.S. placed 2 trades that he called today and made $800 for $99 a month. Thank you, Sam. You deserve everything and more. Thank you, Sam. Just joined the group this week. Made $600 today. The man. Thank you. I'm learning a lot. Hey, Sam. Just wanted to express my gratitude for sharing your knowledge with followers and members. I've been a member since day one when I first saw you on the BitBoy Show. Your insights are incredibly valuable, both financially and spiritually. You've given us a glimpse into the world of trading that most traders are afraid to share. Let's not forget the spiritual and soulful snippets you pass along the way that have helped you overcome tough times. You're a true inspiration. And this one really got to me. I think you got to read that one alone. From my heart, I want to say thank you, Sam, for everything. I've completely changed my life. I'm so grateful for you and the 99. You've put me on a better path in life. I'm 19 months without a drink or a smoke. I go to the gym 4 days a week. I eat healthier. I listen to Jim Rohn every morning after I read the Bible. I read and listen to books daily. I'm a better father and a husband because of you. Although I can't see to make $1 trading, I believe God guided me to your life and helped. It's working. Thank you, Sam. Hey, man, it'll happen over time. I just want to take a moment to express my gratitude. Your trading classes gave me a game changer for me, not only in understanding the strategy, but also applying proper risk management and trading with more confidence. I'm already seeing the benefits of my trading, and it feels great to be learning the professional way. Also, a huge thank you to the 99 club members. The support, insights, and encouragement in the group make the journey so much easier and motivating. And that's for everybody here, man. Look what he said about all of you guys, about everyone in the group. You know, that he said that's a testimonial to everyone in the group. Grateful to be a part of the community and looking forward to growing together. A lot of gratitude. High frequency. Look, this is all late September into October. Look, I got thousands of these from around the world. They don't stop, man. People wouldn't write these. I'm talking thousands and thousands and I don't know. If you sat and read them all, you'd be here forever, man. Amazing, right? Anyway, God bless everybody. We love you. We appreciate you. And we thank you so much. Let's take a look at BTC. Look like it may dump on us. So at the end of the day, we're watching the symmetrical. And if we go back down to 104.5, do not be surprised, please. Let's see if we can hold the 15-minute, 30-minute, the 30-minute 200 moving average, the 15. Both have to hold here. All right. Crucial times for BTC right now. And liquidity on either side, it really could go either way on BOOKMAP. So we're 50-50 today. It is what it is. It's one of those days where the probability isn't perfect. And anything could happen. But I know if we lose the 200, the shorts are more likely. I know if we stay inside the pattern, the longs are more likely. Right now, we're hanging on by a ledge. All right. I make gains off your strategy. God bless you, man. Yeah. And remember, I teach class the last Saturday of the month. I teach class this Saturday, tomorrow. You still have time to hit the QR code and jump on in up until tomorrow. So do it as soon as you can if you want to learn and get your learning accelerated. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to jump on out of here for a wonderful day and start my technical analysis video that comes out later on. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for always being here and being a part of the Lifer Tribe. Remember, find your tribe and subscribe, right? It's a vibe. But I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, you're already doing the right thing. I studied all these famous people, people that made it, people that made a lot of money, people that were successful, people that were looked up to, honorable, amazing. They all told me the secret to success. I studied them all, and it was interesting. Everyone had the same secret. You know what the secret to success is? It's getting started.